Hey everybody, welcome back to Nerd News Today. I'm Matthew, and today we're taking a look at something I've been waiting for, well, I wanted to say a long time, but it's really not true. It basically was like 2 or 3 weeks, I think. Today we're taking a look at one of Mattel's San Diego Comic-Con 2023 exclusives. And this was one I didn't think I was actually going to buy, because I've never actually formally collected anything from this series. And today I'm taking a look at my very first Jurassic Park figure from their current series. And I think this is the Hammond Collection exclusive, which is, well, as you'll see in a moment, of Steven Spielberg and a raptor, which is so cool. But I wanted to give you guys the full unboxing experience here because I think that's kind of appropriate. So I actually already kind of like started the process here. I cut open this little tab here, and now I want to show you guys what's actually inside here. So let's do this together, I guess, because it's definitely something. And out comes more boxes, apparently. Yeah. So I want to show you guys that, because over here you can see now, it just says cue dramatic box opening music. And I'm just like, really, Mattel? You're screwing with us already? Okay, let's do this. Sure. Da-na-na-na-na-na-na. It's a box. This is really underwhelming, and I kind of hate this. But let's keep going. Let's keep going, shall we? Let's open up another box, and then I can maybe do a proper intro here. I don't know. We'll try. We'll do something different. Okay. A glimmer of hope. There's a Jurassic Park logo here. Now we're getting to the toy and its box. So many boxes. It's another box. It's like one of those Russian nesting dolls. Is this like a joke right now? Like I can't tell if I'm being pranked. This is okay. Fine. So we have another box. We have box number 3 to open. Let's open another box because that's what this video has become now. All right. So this is technically box number 4 because I'm also counting the shipping box this thing came in. So let's hope that box number 5 is it. Okay, good. Finally, let's do an unveiling, shall we? Let's do this the right way. Here we go. And when I say highly anticipated, I mean that because these last few minutes have been agony for me. But today we are taking a look at the SDCC 2023 Jurassic Park Hammond Collection figure of Steven Spielberg. So I don't really collect Jurassic Park stuff, although I really, really want to. I think that the line is amazing. I see the dinosaurs on toy store shelves all the time, like in Target or in Walmart's, and they look great. I just don't want to start getting into a whole new toy line. You know, I really got to somehow budget myself when I can. But when I saw that they were having this at San Diego Comic-Con, I thought to myself, I gotta get a Steven Spielberg action figure. And lo and behold, I got lucky and I was able to get one for myself. So this is my first time actually seeing it in the box, and okay, this is pretty darn cool actually. All right, I'm still annoyed by the sheer number of boxes I'm gonna have to contend with, but this thing looks awesome. All right, so does this actually work? Oh my goodness. I've actually got a clacker here. Oh, now we're talking. Okay, well now that makes the whole experience a whole lot better here. So yeah, this is meant to be like an actual clapboard that they have on set, and it's a lot of fun. In fact, I'll turn it from behind here. You could actually see now what we're dealing with. So we actually have like a proper clacker to go like, you know, sound rolling. That's so cool. This is a great little piece of detail here. I'm gonna have a hard time opening up this box, you guys, but I'm gonna have to do it. So yeah, this clapboard though is so cool. I love this. This thing is so cool. This is just a great way to package this figure here. And likewise too, what's inside the box here, this is looking so cool. You have a really big, nice window that lets you see Spielberg and a little Dilophosaurus. I think that's who he comes with here. So yeah, this packaging is just beyond cool. I legitimately don't want to open this, but I'm going to because I want to take a better look at this and decide if maybe I have been foolish in not buying Jurassic Park figures sooner. So let's go ahead and we'll make a cut here. You see what I did there? It's a movie thing, cutting. Let's make a cut here, and let's go ahead and get these guys out of the box and take a closer look at our Spielberg figure from all angles. Let's do like a fancy George Lucas transition right now. That'll be really cool. And here we are. We've got our Steven Spielberg SDCC 2023 set now open out of the box, and let's start taking a closer look at this set. So this set comes with a few different pieces, by the way, and I just want to start by pointing those things out. So obviously we have our Steven Spielberg figure right here, but he's also joined by a Dilophosaur, and that's cool. We're going to get back to the dinosaur in a little bit. I'm going to take him away for a few moments while I sort out the rest of the things here. So in addition to that, our Spielberg also comes with a chair and a camera. So many, many different elements here to talk about, but I think we got to start first things first with the likeness, because that's the reason I bought this thing, because I wanted a Steven Spielberg action figure. And here is that famous director in his tiny 3 3/4 inch Hammond Collection style version. And, you know, I don't really collect Jurassic Park, as I've already said, And to be fair, you know, I probably would not collect this size. I would definitely prefer to have the 6 inches, but I'm pretty happy to have a Spielberg in this little pocket size. It's actually pretty fun and very well done, actually. It looks really nice, all things considered, for this scale. I mean, there's so much more detail they could have had in a 6-inch figure, so it kind of boggles my mind why they would do it in this size, but I guess it might have just been a cost issue, might have been a parts issue, it might have been a combination of the two. And maybe they just wanted this to be a little bit more accessible. I don't know, but I will say that I like this a lot. You know, I'm not going to start going out of my way to collect more figures in this size, in this 1/18 scale, but this kind of makes a strong case for me to start looking into it a little bit more, maybe. So the likeness, though, I gotta tell you, is pretty nice. You know, the downside is he does have sunglasses on, so you can't really get the full Spielberg face with this. But what's there is the beard, the nose, the hair. And this looks like it was pulled straight out of a behind-the-scenes vignette all about Jurassic Park. Like, this looks like the guy, even down to his hat. And I'm sure there's going to be some photos out there that actually will verify the stuff here that he was wearing. Although, to be fair, I don't think he actually is wearing this dino shirt on the set too much. But hey, I could be wrong. I don't know too much about the behind-the-scenes of it. But yeah, likeness, I'm going to say, for its size, is very good. Of course, I'd like more from it, but you know what? At this scale, I'll take what I can get. And what I got here is really quite excellent. And I do really like that dinosaur t-shirt, by the way. That is a really nice touch. Again, it would look so much better in 6-inch scale, but beggars can't be choosers. Now, as far as the rest of the body of Senor Spielbergo, to paraphrase an episode of The Simpsons, you know, this kind of looks like him from this era. You know, this was him kind of running around outside in the wild, playing with all of his toys. So he looks like he's dressed to play with his toys. And that's why he's got on this t-shirt. That's why he has on his acid wash jeans, which are indicative of that era that we're talking about here. He's got his white, probably Keds or Converse, I don't know. But he's got his white sneakers there, which are looking pretty fresh. So overall, I think they got the look of Steven Spielberg down. But the question is now, is this Spielberg as well articulated as the one in real life? And by that, I mean the joints, not the actual, you know, talking, because this is a figure. But anyway, I digress. So as far as articulation goes, this is my first time looking at Hammond Collections, so I don't know much about what they do. The head looks like it should move, but it is not. You guys can see it. It's just like resisting every time I try and turn it. So that might mean it's just that it's a very, very stiff joint and it needs to get heated up. I'm going to assume that's what's going on here. But beyond that, we do have ball jointed shoulders, which move very nicely. We have a single jointed elbow. There we go. Yeah, these things are a little stiff. Okay, so now that I'm playing with this, I can see they're definitely a little stiff. So if you got one of these for yourself and you're going to be like me and have it loose, highly recommend you guys get the old hair dryer out and heat these joints up a little bit to make them more malleable. The wrists can bend and flex. Let's see about our waist. The waist looks like it should move, but again, it's resisting. So this might just be a case of having to get a hair dryer to heat up the joint. The legs are very easy to move, and this is where I'm like, okay, so do we even really need that hair dryer if it's able to move like this right off the bat with the leg joints? But they do in fact work immediately, so I've got pretty good flexibility there. We do have double jointed knees. That's actually kind of a surprise. I don't know why of all the people I gave him double jointed knees, but I mean, hey, I'm not going to say no to good articulation, so that's amazing. And now he can do the stanky leg if he wants. And on top of that, we do have an ankle that can rotate and flex. So it's interesting that their legs are like superbly well articulated, but the rest of the arms and the waist and the head are kind of like iffy. They're a little bit hit or miss. You know, the arms move nicely, but the head and the waist, if that moves, they require some extra work, it seems. And my Spielberg just pulled a 1942 and flopped. All right, so let's talk about some of the accessories that he comes with. And one thing I do want to point out, I'm actually going to pull Spielberg off for a second here, is you're wondering what this backdrop is all about here. That's actually the back of the figure packaging. So I'm using this as my makeshift backdrop for this, and it's working. It's working really nicely. And this particular backdrop represents that scene when Wayne Knight's character, Nedry, is trying to escape the park, and he gets stuck, and, well, moments later, he meets his untimely fate at the hands of a spitter. So that's actually really fun, and I'm happy that it's here because it helps me make this video look a little bit more interesting. But beyond that, I guess we're going to start talking accessories here, and, well, he's got two really, really nice ones here. I'll focus on these in a minute, but there you guys go. You can see slowly as it comes into focus. We have two really nice accessories here that very much epitomize what we're talking about when we talk about Spielberg. So we have a very nice looking movie camera. Now, as far as what camera this actually is, I couldn't tell you. I couldn't give you the technical specs. It could be an ARRI, it could be any giant fancy camera from a time period that it's from. But it's really fun to have it in this size. I'm going to admit, this is a pretty sweet accessory here. And it's also very nice because I can definitely see myself using this with other toys in this scale. So that right there is pretty great. And it's really nicely sculpted as well. It's got a tripod attached to it as well, which, by the way, it actually does rotate here on the base. So you can move this head around, you can move the camera around, which is fun. The tripod legs are solid. They do not come apart. They are stuck in this permanent open position. So if you want to fold them up, you're not going to be able to do that here. But I mean, really, are you going to actually need to fold up your camera? Because, come on, this looks really great as is. So you've got, like I said, the swiveling, tilting tripod head here. It actually doesn't tilt. I shouldn't say it tilts because that's actually a different movement. But what it does have that tilts is the viewfinder piece over here. This actually moves, which I was not expecting. I was not expecting that nice little bit of extra articulation there. So that's fun to see. And we'll actually bring in our Spielberg for a minute here just so you could see how he would actually be using this thing. But yeah, he could like go ahead, bring it up closer to his eyes, and yeah, you can even have him kind of like doing some of the videography right there if you want. So I love that. I really like how cool this looks and how much personality this adds to the set. It's not just that it's a camera that actually has some functionality in it. Now, let's move him over here for a moment. Now, besides that really great camera, we also have oh, goodbye, Spielberg. We also have this director's chair. Again, this does not fold like the real thing would, but come on, what do you expect for this size? But it is a really, really nicely done director's chair. It even has Steven Spielberg's name on it. And obviously, my big thing is, of course, whether or not he can actually sit in it. So we're going to test that articulation right now. And based on how it's looking, I don't think he's going to have any issues here. Yeah, no issues here. So we'll just have him sitting like this and put the camera over here. And, you know, that looks pretty darn perfect to me. I mean, I'm pretty happy with this. I should add, it looks like on camera that he's like flopping over and he's kind of like awkward in it, but that's actually just the view of my camera. So let me fix that right now, and I'll get you guys a better look at how he's looking and how I'm seeing him. But he is actually sitting down to this thing pretty much flat. You know, his butt's there. There might be a little bit of space between it in the back, but not really that much. So he is sitting down. I don't know why it looks so weird to me on the camera, but take my word for it, he is absolutely sitting there. You know, just to be super safe, I'm going to bend those double jointed knees some more and get them in a better position maybe. Because I do want to stress that, yeah, he actually is in this chair. It looks really good. So there we go. That's a little bit better, I think. Yeah, but I can confirm very much that Steven Spielberg is very much sitting in this chair right there. But aside from the figure, aside from the chair, and aside from the camera, we have one other really interesting accessory, and I use that term lightly here. But we got ourselves a dinosaur to play with. That's right. We have a Dilophosaurus, though at the moment he's missing something, and that's because he actually has his hood packed separately. Not sure why they did this. I don't know if that's common with the Hammond Collection, but yeah, it was actually installed in the packaging like this. So I guess we got to actually dress our Dilophosaurus up, and I'm hoping, yeah, I don't know if the heads come off or anything. I'm hoping we can just slide this on down, but let's find out right now. All right, there we go. That is better. And I just realized as I was doing that, I was like, gee, I wonder why his face is like that. And then I realized, oh yeah, because in this scene with Nedry, we don't actually see the hood until the Dilophosaurus is ready to spit. So that's fun. It's actually a little bit of extra, bit of added value there now that I'm looking at it. Because yeah, you get to have him without his hood and with whenever you need him to do some spitting, I guess. That's probably the best way to put it. But the dinosaurs look great. I mean, I know that these figures are very popular. This Jurassic Park line has gone on for years and years and years, and it's easy to see why, because these dinosaurs are amazing. Like, I really want to start collecting just the dinosaurs. I don't really care about the humans. I just want the dinos, and I feel like that's probably a shared sentiment across the board. But yeah, these likenesses are great. I love the lizardy look of him. I like this a lot. I like the paint job on this a ton. The sculpting texture in this Dilophosaurus is just like insane. I'm digging this so much, and I feel like we can't even talk about this dinosaur and just focus on the paint, which is, again, outstanding. I feel like we got to really talk about the articulation, because that goes hand in hand with how good this dino is. I mean, he's got ball joints, like, all over the place. Like, I was not expecting ball jointed shoulders. Looks like you got a little bit of a, yeah, ball joint on the forearm as well, the legs. Okay, the legs are not ball jointed at the hip. They just move back and forth. But the knee joints are, and it looks like the ankle, I guess, is as well. And of course, yeah, that tail has a really good solid range of motion. Again, a little stiff, but it does move. So, wow, that's really great. And I also know that the neck does have some articulation as well. There we go, good, solid range of articulation. And something else that was really cool that I wasn't expecting was that the jaw actually can open and close. So you could have him go wide open, or you could have him keep his mouth shut. That's really cool. But that's not all this dino has, because technically he's not actually a dino if you really think about it. This is meant to be an animatronic, right? So that's where our next and final accessory comes in, and that's this weird looking saddle thing over here. What is this thing, you might be asking yourself? Well, that is basically, I don't quite know the technical term for it, and it's probably out there on the SDCC order form, but this piece here is meant to be like a little animatronic saddle for the Dilophosaurus. So this would be like where he would sit and someone else would be controlling him somewhere else. It looks like what he's on is actually like a track so that they could push the animatronic forward. So how fun is that? I mean, like, who would have expected that into an actual animatronic piece that's part of a Jurassic Park toy? I mean, this is just like the coolest thing. It also just looks like a piece of like something out of Aliens. It's a very Ridley Scott looking kind of design, or H.R. Geiger design, I should say, really. But it is exactly that. It's an animatronic piece here, and our dinosaur fits very nicely right on top of that. And I'm wondering if there's like smaller dinosaurs like raptors or anybody else in this similar size that would probably be able to fit this as well. And I think most likely if this guy can fit it, then anything else in his size would fit this as well. So if you don't just want to have a Dilophosaur on it, you could have a raptor or whatever else there is in this family of dino. I don't really remember all my dinos anymore. I'm actually impressed I remember even Dilophosaur. But this is so fun. This is a really fun SDCC collective, you know, a collectible. And that's one of the fun things about SDCs. You get to have something like this where it's a little bit more silly and more nuanced and just plain fun, which is what a toy should be. You know, it kind of reminds me of when they did the Masters Universe Classics 2-pack of the dentist, Molar, and Skeletor from that Robot Chicken skit, which is like still hilarious to this day. So it's fun that they're being able to do this. They're having this freedom, and SDCC is the right place to make that happen. So that's my quick look at this really exciting SDCC 2023 2-pack, and I'm just going to have these guys stand around right now to get ready for this shot. And I'm just going to have these characters right now just standing over here because the director's ready to get his extreme close-up on the dinosaur. He's all set up, ready to go. He's rigged up. So I'm just going to give you guys my final thoughts here. And man, I'm so happy I got this. I really wasn't going to get it. I was afraid to spend the extra money, even though it wasn't that expensive. It still is, you know, it still all adds up. Especially when I'm buying that Ali 2-pack, the WWE Ultimate Edition Muhammad Ali 2-pack, which you guys can watch a review of on this channel here as well. So, you know, that was already expensive. And I told myself if I managed to get that and this set hadn't sold out yet, I would go ahead and try for it. And lo and behold, it was still available. So I went ahead, scooped one up for myself, and I am so happy I did. Even in spite of the bizarre number of boxes that contained this glorious set, yeah, I'm still elated that I got this here. And I will say it's totally worth the price here. That price is a bargain because, yeah, the dinosaur is awesome. Getting a figure of Spielberg is cool, especially with the camera gear and the director's chair. But also that packaging is so fun. Like, I'm putting these guys right back in the box, I think. I mean, I don't want to, but I like how they look in there. And I like playing with the clapper as well. So that's such a fun thing, and that's what this set is all about. It's about fun, and that's how toys should be. They're not always meant to be serious business, and I feel like this pack here kind of reminded me about that. So I'm thankful that this toy did that, because that's what a good toy should do. Now, if you want to pick this set up for yourself, unfortunately, I got some bad news for you. It is out of stock. This thing sold out at SDCC and on Mattel Creations website. So your best bet to get this is through a third party, whether that's eBay, a toy store near you, or a Facebook group, or whatever you might end up using to find this guy. Yeah, that's going to be your best bet to get him, and even at the inflated prices, I'd still say he's worth it. But as I always tell everybody, don't pay double. Really, don't pay double. Right now, everybody's going to probably be trying to scalp this for double, if not more. Wait a little bit for people to start getting a little bit more desperate as far as those sellers go, the sellers who are really just scalpers and they just want to then move product. Wait a little bit. You can probably get this thing down to like 45 maybe, I would assume or hope. And then with shipping, you'd still have to pay 60, but whatever. That's at least not as bad as paying 60 plus shipping and tax and everything else on top of it. So definitely wait a little bit, but don't wait too long because I think this is going to be a hot set long term. So yeah, it's totally worth getting. I'll keep in mind, I know that much. And I feel like anybody else who's got this who didn't get one to flip is going to be holding on to it for a very, very extended period of time. So that's my look at the SDCC 2023 Jurassic Park set of Steven Spielberg and his little pet animatronic dino. So until next time, thanks for watching. I'm Matthew. This has been Nerd News Today, and we'll see you guys here next time with more toy reviews, figure unboxings, and everything else we do here on the channel. Because as you know, toy reviews always find a way.